Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Peter Barber. I am primarily a professional opera singer, music producer, and of course a bass vocalist. Today we are getting back to one of the absolute favorites on the channel. This is Hyang singing her song Everyone, and this has probably been the most recommended Hyang piece that I've looked at. So I'm very excited to see what she does. She has beyond blown me away in past videos that I've watched of her, and I'm always very excited to listen and try to break down what she's doing vocally. Guys, this is a reaction and analysis video, so I will be pausing to analyze especially her vocal technique, other musical aspects of the arrangement, and other artistic choices she makes, but mostly I focus on vocal technique since that's really my area of specialty. So if you want to watch the video all the way straight through, I will leave a link to that in the description. Go check that out, and then come on back if you want to learn more about what she's up to while performing. As always, please do take the time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, very helpful, and leave a comment for the algorithm. That's what's important nowadays, getting that specific kind of engagement. So please do that. And guys, if you're learning a lot, if I'm enhancing your listening experience, if you find yourself enjoying the music more after listening to my commentary, please do consider joining my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Link is also in the description below. And without further ado, guys, let's see what Hyang does on this piece. All right, so far, just starting out, obviously a very intimate setting. As far as I can tell, we have just, very light piano and a very light string section orchestrally. And we have Hyang coming in on basically an like doing a little bit of very light riffing. Her voice, she's keeping a breathy presence in her voice, so not a lot of tight vocal fold closure. This is a very nice way to start a piece in an intimate setting and allow for contrast later in when she puts in the big high belts, the power belting, and the vocal fireworks that we're so used to hearing from her. So that's all we're getting here in this first section. It's a great place to start. So I assume this is in Korean. And again, as we are progressing through this first verse of this song, we're still getting light piano, light strings, and she's taking this more breathy, intimate approach to her singing, but she is adding a little bit of vibrato, so we know that she's got a nice consistent flow of air and a relaxed vocal apparatus to allow for that sine wave-like vibrato, meaning very consistent vibrato. So she's doing a lot of this is a style of attack with your phonation. Phonation means your vocal folds are coming together, producing a pitch. Musical theater, modern musical theater often, and pop too really, but especially musical theater, it's very traditional and customary to hit a note, straight tone for a period of time, and then allow the vibrato to come in later. It kind of adds this intensity, and it keeps the actual quality of the note changing as you progress through a pitch, as opposed to just doing something and staying totally stagnant. So Hyang uses this in a lot of her vocal approach. She will start a sustained pitch off straight tone, and then she will allow her vibrato to come in. I like that chord progression. So now, ooh, it gets exciting right when you start to hear her start to move up into that high chest range where she's just such a powerhouse vocalist. Up to, I think, a B-flat 4, so we're nowhere near the top. But you can already tell as she ascends, the vocal folds start coming together much tighter and less air is coming through. So the sound goes from a breathy, relaxed sound to a much more efficient sound. That's really what's happening. B-flat. Up to an E-flat 5, which for So-hyang, not, again, still, we're not even into the extreme part of her range. This is very, I would consider, comfortable for her still. But belting an E-flat 5 in full chest voice is not comfortable for most singers. That's actually a really high belt in chest voice, and she handles it so easily. So, yeah, nothing to scoff at there. I think singers like So-hyang and other kind of freakish singers like Glenn Miller, for example, Basso Profundo. Maybe Mason can throw a clip of Glenn in here singing a low note. We hear singers like that and we get used to listening to them that we think, oh, that's what a bass sounds like. Or, this is what a pop singer sounds like. When really we are talking about the most extreme examples of these kinds of singers. And so me as a bass, I can't do anything that Glenn Miller can do in his low register, his low chest range. None of it. Like, I don't even have access to that. But I am still a bass, and he is a bass. Very different kinds of basses. It's something I like to harp on about when I'm mentoring some young bass singers is, not to compare yourself to the Glenn Millers and the Eric Holloways. Like, you've got to find what your voice does. Trust that you don't need to have a friggin' F1 in pure chest voice to be a bass. Just like you don't need to be able to belt as high as So-hyang to be considered, the same voice part as her. It's an important note, important for people to remember it's kind of like check yourself before you wreck yourself, Anyway. Very excited to hear her get up to E-flat, and I'm sure she will go higher. Again, just for a second, I commented a similar thing on an earlier video saying she got up to a high C, and I wasn't sure if it was chest or not. I said probably not. And someone said that wasn't a high C, that was a B-flat. It's because it was like a sustained B-flat with a very short high C. But you still got to count that as long as the voice is staying connected up there. So that was a very short E-flat above the high D natural. Like a appoggiatura or a grace note. I just love how much she puts into her singing. It's very emotionally driven, and it really comes through clearly on these phrases. She's really, full body committed to what she's doing here. That was really interesting. We had a boom, 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 boom. We had like a big increase in the intensity of what was happening in the background parts just for a few bars, and then now we've brought it back to this more intimate place. Bringing it back. Another E flat up there. Woo! Give me the drums. Oh. High F. So working up there even higher. That sounded a little more mixy. She can sing that high, full chest. That particular pitch sounded a little mixy, mixed voice. Now we got drums and a choir, which adds so much to the foundation and the texture of this piece. Every time drums and choir come in, it totally changes the game. Oh, all right, English. Like hovering right around that B flat there, going up and down by semitones, really, just kind of dancing around it. I'm sorry I have to pause it because this kind of style of music, it'll just keep going and there's never a good place to pause, generally. It's very gospel-like in feel. In a lot of gospel music, you will have a repeated, mostly instrumental section with some kind of soloing when appropriate. You will have a gospel choir, a choir in the background who is repeating, whatever motif or section they're doing. And you will give the soloist, once the set patterns, once the set text and the set melodies have been performed, when you repeat, you will give the soloist a lot of freedom to make their own ornamentation and really make the piece their own. So this and a number of both other songs I listened to So-hyang sing so far, very gospel-like in the kind of structure of how the performance is delivered. A B5. I can squeal up there right now. Can't always do that. D6, obviously we're up in head voice now, no question there. But a nice clean D6 above soprano high C. Oh, awesome. Okay, and also just to point out, she maintains so much control in that really high head voice. She goes up to the sustained D6 and then riffs her way back down. No problem. Super within the functionality of her voice. She's very comfortable doing that kind of vocal acrobatics, vocal fireworks, whatever you want to call it. And then some nice high belting as well. High, so that is F5 all chest. So you can tell with this kind of music, this style, this performance, you can feel where the structure is, like what you would see on the sheet music, and you can kind of discern if you're familiar of this kind of music, I guess, you know, what's likely written and all the embellishments she's adding. I guarantee if we're not already totally through the written formal arrangement, excluding repeats and such, she's doing very likely a lot of her own embellishments and ornamentation, you know, probably partially planned, but also partially probably what she's just feeling in the moment, because she's a very talented vocalist. Talented vocalists who are used to riffing, doing this kind of movement with the voice, so to speak. If you are good at that and familiar with that, you can do it on the spot and come off very convincing and very clean and accurate. And I wager that's a lot of what this is there's some planned things, but for the most part, she's probably just riffing with it, whatever she's feeling, and just trusts her body to make it happen. People are like, are you serious? Oh, a nice flip. I love highlighting a nice flip from chest voice into head voice. She's just riffing. See, a lot of this is not even on words. It's just, there's no way that you have just a vowel, whatever she's doing. There's no way that's written. So this all very much feels like ad-libbing, improving, essentially. Up to F sharp, still full chest. Oh. No. So, look at that. Oh, here we go. That sounded like she went up into her very convincing, very strong, well-connected mixed voice for those last few notes. You can feel there's just a little less weightiness to it. And if you carry full chest up that high, I mean, high belting, very much akin to how male opera singers sing, remaining basically fully in chest voice. There's a weightiness to it, and it is essentially healthy yelling. It is the same mechanism as yelling. You're yelling with good vocal fold closure and efficiency and breath support, but it is a yell as far as the physiology is concerned. So you can tell when someone takes a little weight off it, that means you know that essentially it has transitioned from a full chest where the whole vocal fold TA muscle, thyroarytenoid, is all stretching out, to when some of that releases and it makes your vocal folds able to stretch further, and it creates a lighter mechanism. So listen for that when she goes up to these high B flats. You guys can hear that. At least some people in the comments who I've gone back and forth with about when she transitions up or not. Chest. And it just goes up into a more heady place, and it loses a bit of that weight and gravity to it. But talk about a clean transition up there. I mean, the fact that you can even have a debate about it means that she's absolutely nailing that technique. Crazy. People are shocked.
내가 만약 외로울 때면 누가 날 위로해주지? 바로 여러분.
Okay, very cool section where obviously emotional to a lot of people watching. I don't speak the language, so I cannot connect with this like the audience can, obviously. But really cool how you go from this full band, full choir, really high power belting back to a much more intimate place. But it's a very vulnerable place as a singer to be singing like that with absolutely nowhere to hide. Like very intimate. You got to stay in tune or it's going to be obvious when the band comes back in. You've got to stay grounded and committed. And she did a really wonderful job throughout that whole section. And now we're getting back into this final section, I guess. This is a long video, 7 minutes, 16 seconds. That guitar riff down. Sorry, I'm trying to hear more than just her voice. It's tough to hear anything else. Just like that guitar riff down. The rest is like it's more vocal fireworks. It's more amazing riffing. It's more belting. It's like I don't know how much more I can say about it. Really. Oh, another flip. Love the flip. Ooh, I like that one. Gets up to that last note. That was a great place to end it. Wow. High G there at the end. Man, I've said it before. I really think she's one of the most gifted vocalists on the planet. It's another demonstration of this. I mean, through and throughout. She shows the intimate singing. She shows the riffing. She shows the power belting. She shows a crazy ability to transition between her registers. All the things you want, really, in a singer. It's funny, you know, I did Bridge Over Troubled Water and I did Adidong, and people are like, oh, you haven't seen anything yet. Like, you got to watch everyone. Like, she does so much more in that song. I don't think so. I think this was equally as incredible as those other two. Like, they, in my opinion, are all on the same level as far as vocal technique, vocal fireworks. Maybe I'm only saying that because I've already seen the other two. You know, if I'd watched this one first, more of a shock. But I am, you know, as blown away by this one as I am by the other two. I think she's phenomenal. And with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please do like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment for the algorithm. Check out my Patreon, guys. That is the best way to support me as an artist, as a creator, as an educator in this case. So if you're learning things, if you're enjoying the music more, if you're hearing things you've never heard before, please do consider joining my Patreon. There are some amazing benefits on there, you know, depending on which tier you join. But, you know, everyone who joins gets access to my Discord, private Discord server, and early access to all my releases. That's bare minimum for $1 a month. So check that out. And with that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.